Welcome, class. I'm Dr. Frank Vega with the Peace Education Foundation, and we are so happy to have you once again to share another PeaceWorks lesson from our Peace Education Mentoring Series. And today we're going to be working with an old story, an old children's story, bringing literacy to peace education, and it's called The Little Red Hen. We're going to be sharing the story to help us understand why our peace rules, our eye care rules are so important, why we need them to have a peaceful environment in our classroom, in our homes, in our society, in our world. And so we're going to start by reading the story, and we have 4 barnyard friends who are the characters in our story. The Little Red Hen, the veiny kitty cat, and the gossipy goose, and a very sleepy, tired, lazy dog. And so thank you, Keisha, who's going to read our story for us. Thank you.
So again today we're going to read The Little Red Hen by Lucinda McQueen. Once upon a time there was a little red hen who shared her tiny cottage with a goose, a cat, and a dog. The goose was a gossip. She chatted with the neighbors all day long. There was a very vain cat. She brushed her fur, straightened her whiskers, and polished her claws all day long. Meow, meow. The dog was always sleepy. He napped on the front porch swing all day long. The little red hen ended up doing all of the work around the house. She cooked, she cleaned, she washed the clothes, and took out the trash. She mowed the lawn and raked the leaves. She even did all of the shopping. One morning on her way to the market, the little red hen found a few grains of wheat. She put them in the pocket of her apron. When she got home, she asked her friends, "Who will plant these grains of wheat?"
Not I.
Said the goose.
Not I. Meow.
Said the cat.
Not I. Woof, woof.
Said the dog. Then I will plant them myself, said the little red hen. And she did. When the grains of wheat began to sprout, the little red hen cried, "Look, the wheat I planted is coming up. Who will help me take care of it this summer?"
Not I.
Said the goose.
Not I. Meow.
Said the cat.
Not I. Woof, woof.
Said the dog.
Okay.
Then I will take care of it myself, said the little red hen. And she did. All summer long, she cared for the growing wheat. She made sure that it got enough water, and she hoed the weeds out carefully between each row. By the end of the summer, the wheat had grown tall. And when it turned from green to gold, she asked her friends, "Who will help me cut and thresh this weed?"
Will you help me,
Not I.
Said the goose.
Not I. Meow.
Said the cat.
Not I. Woof, woof.
Said the dog. Then I would cut and thresh it myself, said the little red hen. And she did. When all of the wheat had been cut and threshed, the little red hen scooped the wheat into a wheelbarrow and said, "This wheat must be ground into flour. Who will help me take it to the mill?"
Who will help me, Pagka.
Not I.
said the goose,
Not I. Meow.
said the cat,
Not I. Woof, woof.
said the dog,
Pagka. Thanks a lot, Pagka.
then I will take it myself, said the little red hen,
I've done myself, Pagka.
and she did. The miller ground the wheat into flour and put it into a bag for the little red hen. Then all by herself, she pushed the bag home into the wheelbarrow. One cool fall morning, not many days later, the little red hen got up early and said, "Today will be a perfect day to bake some bread.
Perfect day, break back, Pagka.
Who will help me bake a loaf of bread with flour I brought home from the mill?"
Who will help me?
Not I.
said the goose,
Not I. Meow.
said the cat,
Not I. Woof, woof.
said the dog,
Thanks a lot.
"Then I will bake the bread myself," said the little red hen, and she did. She mixed the flour with milk and eggs and butter and salt. She kneaded the dough and shaped it into a nice plump loaf. Then she put the loaf in the oven and watched it as it baked. The smell of the baking bread soon filled the air. It smelled so delicious that the goose stopped chatting, the cat stopped brushing, and the dog stopped napping.
Oh.
One by one, they came into the kitchen. When the little red hen took the freshly baked loaf of bread out of the oven, she said, "Who will help me eat this bread?"
I will.
said the goose,
And I will. Meow.
said the cat,
And I will. Woof, woof, woof.
said the dog. "You will?" said the little hen.
Pagka, everyone will?
Woof, 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 woof.
Who planted the wheat and took care of it?
Pagka, I did.
Who cut the wheat? Who threshed it and took it to the mill?
Pagka, I did. Pagka.
Who brought the flour home and baked this loaf of bread?
Pagka. Hee.
I did it all by myself. Now I'm going to eat it all by myself.
Yum, yum, yum.
And that's exactly what she did. The end.
Wonderful, thank you. Wonderful actors, reader, book holders, thank you so much, thank you so much. Let's go back to our seats and let's take a look at the story and process a little bit. Thank you, that was great. Thank you so much, thank you. Thanks. Great, wonderful. So this lesson is taken from our peacemaking skills for little kids, our pre-K book, but obviously it can be used in first and second, early primary. It's a wonderful story. And let's take a look at our eye care rules because they will help us to kind of look and process the story and to introduce the eye care rules to our students and why peace rules, why the eye care rules are so important, right? So kind of refreshing and remembering the eye care rules are we listen to each other, our hands are for helping, not for hurting. We use eye care language, the please, the thank you, the I'm sorry. We care about each other's feelings, and we are responsible for what we say and do. So when we are taking a look at our eye care rules and we're wanting our classroom to actually not only follow them, but learn them and practice their peacemaking skills, this story of the Little Red Hen is a great story to introduce why these are important. So help me out. What did we learn from the little red hen? What went wrong? What were some of the problems? How were the eye care rules followed? Were the eye care rules important? Did they help in any way? What went wrong? What was going on? Help me out. Let's do a little brainstorm and process the story.
It was hard for the little red hen because she got no help.
So she had no help. Did you say she was hurt, Rebecca?
Yeah.
She felt very hurt. Oh yeah, she was. She got no help. What else went wrong? What other problems did we have? Help me out.
Then they came at the end when everything was done.
Oh, then they showed up at the end when everything was done, right? What other rules weren't followed? Help me out. Let's like kind of integrate the rules into, the story of what went wrong here.
They didn't listen to her.
They didn't listen. What was the problem there? Why was there a breakdown in communication, you think?
Well, she would ask them something and they would just say no. They
Right.
would say, sorry, I can't, or I don't want to. They just
Yeah.
told her no.
Yeah. There was just lack of cooperation. It was no, no, no. Have you ever experienced people that are just no, no, no? No matter what you do, it's no, right? So what else? What other problems were there? What other rules weren't being followed?
They didn't care about her feelings.
How so? How did that show?
She did everything and no one thought to help her or
Right.
to see how she felt.
Right. So yeah, there was lack of consideration, lack of empathy, right? Which is so important for us to teach our students empathy. What else? What else? Come on, the other folks that I haven't heard from. What other problems occurred in the,
They didn't use their hands for helping. They didn't help at all.
Oh, not at all. So they're helping hands. No helping hands whatsoever. No cooperation. Hands are for helping, not for hurting. Those of you that are working with, think about it. That's a rule that's actually, for pre-KK and for the early primary, but old people need to realize how often hands are for helping and, how our hands are for helping and not for hurting. It's like from a little kid to an adult, the power of our hands. We can build up or we can destroy, right? We can cooperate, we can tear down. What else? What else? What other rules were being followed? What other problems occurred in the story?
He only listened at the end.
They,
And then the bread was made.
exactly. So only at the end did they participate. Yes. What else? What were you going to say?
I was going to go back to what Victoria said, but then also say that she wanted to do everything by herself, the hen.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So are you bringing up some problems with the hen?
yep,
Did the hen have some responsibility here?
yes.
What happened? Are you kidding me? But she was the victim. She was the poor little red hen.
She was not.
She was not.
In the beginning of the story, she already showed that she can do everything on her own.
All right. So you think she was a little bit arrogant and a little bit self-sufficient? Like, I can do it all by myself. I don't need your help. I don't, right? So that's interesting. So what could she have done differently at the beginning? How did she break, what was her responsibility in the breakdown in communication?
She didn't tell them what they were going to be doing. She just
Alright.
asked little by little for help instead of
Okay.
saying, hey guys, let's make a bread.
Oh, okay, yeah. Anybody else want to elaborate on
She
that?
could have given them tasks.
She could have given them tasks. She could have engaged them. She could have gotten their buy-in. What else?
She could have made her instructions clear.
She could have made her instructions clear. So important for us as teachers, right? So important. So at the beginning, if there's a project, right, we have a project together, we're a community, we're a classroom, we're a family, you have clear objectives, clear goals. You're the motivator in the classroom, right? You're wanting your students to get on board, to become engaged. You have to be the motivator and the cheerleader. And it's, okay, class, we're gonna do this project together. Here are different tasks. Here are the benefits. If we all do this together, here is the reward, the outcome. And that outcome doesn't need to be necessarily something physical or material. It's the reward of working together, of collaborating, of learning together, of, of being, of growing in friendship in our classroom, of all of this, all of these benefits. And the benefit for me as a teacher, right? And having this kind of climate of peace and this culture of peace in my classroom. So our little red hen story teaches us a lot. Now, it ends on a negative note, right? She was the glutton. She ate it all herself. She didn't share. So for children, especially for small children, we can't leave the story there, right? How can we turn the story around? We could create another story. The class could work and they could actually write a story, write essays, right? Where they then put a positive spin on the story. What would the positive spin be? What would the new story look like?
She shared the bread at the end.
She shares the bread at the end. What else? What would the new story look like?
Everybody pitching in helping.
Everybody's pitching in, helping. What would the story look like in the positive?
Maybe she could have told them how she felt, and then they would start helping her.
Oh, very cool. She could have expressed her feelings in the process, and maybe that could have helped, right? What else?
She could have said why they're doing all the different steps instead of just doing them.
Exactly. This is the objective. This is the reason why we're doing this. Come on, let's all get on board. Let's be a team. Let's work together. So the story and our eye care rules really bring up so many peacemaking skills to the table. The conflict resolution, mediation skills, the character education, the values education piece, the social skills, social emotional learning. There's so much here, and it's so rich. So we thank you so very much for being a part of this mentoring series and for bringing our story to life and bringing our characters to life and being part of this effort to teach peacemaking skills to our community and our world. Thank you so much.